Hey Tally, what are you doing here? I've been looking for you for hours.
Oh, hi Evitel. I'm just hanging about in BFA for a bit, enjoying the peace and quiet. Oh, holy shit, what's that big awesome box you've got there?
It just came in the mail for you.
Oh, wow. This must be my server blade.
Is that like a rare weapon or something?
No, it's a server that used to literally run World of Warcraft. This used to actually power a realm that people played on. Blizzard have been selling them off for charity, and I've totally always wanted one. Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, cool. So now we can own a real piece of WoW history that we can prominently display in our apartment.
No, don't be silly, Evitel. It's so I can totally run my own private WoW server.
What?
Taliesin world. I've got so many good ideas. It's going to be the best server ever.
That sounds great, I guess. Don't they take quite a lot of power to run, though?
Don't worry, Evitel. I've got a multi-plug. All I have to do is open it up and...
Tally, what was that?
I don't know. It was like looking into hell?
Yeah, it was like sexy, but also depraved and horrifying.
Yeah. Hang on. I don't understand.
Wait, Tally, what server did this used to be?
Oh, let me check. Oh.
Thought so. I'm just gonna bury this in concrete, okay?
Yeah, make sure you bury it really, really deep though, yeah?
Knowledge is power.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset, Taliesin and Evitel's Wondrous Wisdomshow. And we have an extra special old school treat for you today, as this week's episode is almost entirely about BFA, retail, although they're both retail really, aren't they? Or live WoW, although they definitely are both live. New WoW, although technically the main game is old WoW since it's been around since 2004 and Classic is currently less than a month old. Mainline WoW, which I really like but doesn't seem to be catching on. Or original WoW, which is technically true since Classic is a recreation of an earlier stage of BFA's life, but you know, you can't say that because people will think you're trolling. So I don't know, the WoW that isn't Classic, because we've got all of that exciting 8.2.5 news and the recruiter friend controversy to cover, but please don't think that means we are dismissing Classic in any way, okay? Because we are going to talk about it with new realms and population numbers, and I, at least, have been playing it pretty much non-stop, except for this week where we were mostly on guild holiday, which is like a normal holiday, but better because it's with your guild, and anyway, video games are antisocial or something. But look, you all know how much I love Classic. I'm currently only level 31 because of holiday, but I treasure every outrageous leveling moment in that stupid, janky, glorious game. I have put in multiple 11-hour streams playing it just because the time seems to absolutely fly, and also because everything takes so long to do. The things I think it does better than current WoW, current WoW, yeah, that might work, are well documented on this show. I'm very happy to be spending the majority of my game time in it. So please don't take it personally when I say that also, you know, when I've just played 11 hours of Classic, quite often what I'll do when I switch off the stream is go outside, call my friends, get some no, only joking. Most of the time, I log straight into BFA because for some reason, I am so ready for some BFA at that point. Nothing major, just my weekly islands or Mythic Plus, maybe a pug raid clear and emissaries, but it really feels great to have, like, a whole ton of abilities and flashy spell effects and cool mounts. And you know what? I'm not sure if I've really appreciated it before, but those graphics are awesome. They're, like, really good when you've been playing Classic for 11 hours. It's usually only for an hour or so at a time because, well, frankly, there's not much else to do in BFA right now. It's just on a bit of a lull, which is fair enough, really. But it seems that that lull will not be lasting too much longer. As this week, after 3 weeks of absolute silence, which is fair enough really, we got that new PTR build that we've all been waiting for. Patch 8.25 is just around the corner, fam. We have a splash page promising the conclusion of the war campaign. We have some tantalizing new models, and we have secrets. So many secrets. And for a change, these secrets look like they are going to remain secrets. As we predicted back in May, 8.25 is a story patch filled with super important, game-changing narrative progression, and the reason we still haven't heard anything about 8.3 yet is because if we did, that would by necessity give away the story that we're about to get in the new patch, and Blizzard seem determined to keep that under wraps, to the extent that I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any of those war campaign quests up for testing at all. Our first experience of them being when the patch goes live in, I want to say a couple of weeks, but that's probably being greedy, right? As Jeremy Fiesel not so mysteriously tweeted, the revolution will not be data mined. And I guess this is the point that I'm trying to make with this especially rambling intro. No matter how much I love Classic, and I do, no matter how superior I may find it in some ways, and I do, nothing in WoW is ever going to be able to excite me as much as new things, current things, secret things. Honestly, I am that easy. You put a splash page in front of me with some awesome Sylvanas key art and I'm anyone's. And this kind of secrecy around in-game events is kind of unique for WoW in recent times. It was announced that we'd be going to Argus in 7.3 9 months before we got there, and whereas not having that kind of overarching roadmap in BFA has led to many finding the narrative unfocused or frustrating, I've always been on the side that really likes it this way. And imaginations are certainly running wild, wondering exactly what all of this means. So let's work out exactly what it all means by looking at exactly what we know so far. 1. There's Sylvanas and Anduin and the promise of the conclusion of the war campaign, and in fact you, the player character, being promised that you will lead the charge in the thrilling conclusion of the war campaign. And this is a big one, we have 2 new data mine cinematics, and obviously I'm putting a Redbot spoiler warning up for this because these cinematics are pretty tightly encrypted, as you'd expect, and we can't get anywhere near them. One is 3 minutes 18 seconds long, which is a pretty long cinematic, and the other is 6 minutes 18 seconds long, which is a really, really long cinematic. Like an absolute total beast. Let's be honest, it's quite likely it's going to take longer to watch through these 2 cinematics than it is to complete the thrilling conclusion of the war campaign. And whatever they are, and whatever they reveal, they set up the action and location and baddie of 8.3 and the conclusion of the expansion. Some questions. Some have theorized that the super long cinematic is just the first 2 old soldier films stuck together and put in the game because they have similar runtime. Is that possible? I mean, yeah, it's possible, but it's not very likely. For a start, there are 3 old soldier cinematics, so what would be the point of just adding 2? Secondly, there would be no point encrypting them if they were in the PTR, and thirdly, no, obviously not. Next question, does this mean that leak that everyone has been talking about, that actual real YouTubers have been making videos on, and which I am going to talk about very quickly now for a second, so Redbot I guess, although not really, does this mean that the Shadowlands leak with its description of the end of the expansion and its totally actually leaked cinematic screenshot for reals though, is in fact for reals though? Is this spoiler-tastic shot, which, no, we're still not going to show you, because if it is a real leak, then frankly, screw whoever leaked it, you are a shitting arsehole, mate. Is this from that big juicy 6-minute cinematic, or even the still unusually juicy 3-minute cinematic? Hey, maybe it is. But the Shadowlands leak specifically describes the end of patch 8.3 going into the next expansion, not 8.25, reinforcing my belief that even if that leaked screenshot somehow is legit, the story and logistics described in that leak simply can't be. Third question, could this mean that actually there is no patch 8.3 at all? Is the reason it's being kept so secret because it doesn't exist? And is Blizzard going to pull a complete bait and switch by heading straight into the next expansion? Could BlizzCon 2019 not just have the reveal of the next expansion, but a surprisingly imminent release date? This is an idea which is getting quite a lot of traction, mostly from people that don't really like BFA and want it to be over, and fair enough, but again, I find it highly unlikely. True, that hefty pair of cinematics seem expansion ending in length, but if I were a betting man, I'd be putting my money on 8.3 not only existing, but being Argus-sized at least, but an Argus-sized surprise, which makes me think, seriously, how have Blizzard kept a whole new continent and story swerve secret all this time? Which makes me think, maybe they didn't, and maybe that next expansion leak, which everyone's talking about, is actually more of an 8.3 leak. Who knows? I don't know, but someone knows. And last question, best question, what is going to happen? And obviously, we don't know, that's why it's so exciting, but we can speculate, and we're going to, because speculation is fun. So, the conclusion of the war campaign. Now, the war campaign is, in my opinion, one of the strongest features of BFA. It's possibly the best overarching narrative delivery technique that Blizzard have managed in any WoW expansion, putting the idea of the war and its various alliances and twists and turns and battles and distractions at the heart of everything that's happened. It led directly into the Battle for Dazara Lore, a raid that I still think will be remembered as one of the all-time greats in the history of WoW. Not only because it had the Mechatalk fight in it, although that too, but also because of the way it incorporated story and narrative into the instance so well. Through the war campaign, we've been told and experienced the events of the fall and eventual death of Rastakhan, the rise of Talanji, the fall and ultimate redemption of Jaina Proudmoore. We've seen the upper hand in the fighting sway from Horde smashing everything in sight to the Alliance being on the brink of victory before the intervention of Ashara. And we've seen Saurfang's rebel boys build up their forces against Sylvanas while the Banshee Queen was busy raising Derek Proudmoore and imprisoning the traitor cow Baine. So if 825 brings the conclusion of the war campaign, then it's fair to assume that there will be at least some conclusion to all of these events. Saurfang's rebel boys, who now include Zappy Boy, Thrall, Baine, and since Eternal Palace, Lorthamar and the Blood Elves, and Thalyssra and the Nightborn, at least. Sylvanas has the Blade of the Black Empire and is doing stuff we still don't know about with Nathanos, and Anduin and the Alliance are, you know, they are also characters in this game. So I think if we are to have any conclusion to the war campaign, it has to revolve around Saurfang's rebel boys. And actually, this would seem to fit in with Fiesel's tweet. The revolution will not be data mined. And actually, this is a prediction that I've been making since forever, and I see no real need to change it now. We know that the rebel boys, the Horde and Alliance, all want to work together to defeat the newly freed N'zoth. But no, that can never happen with Sylvanas in charge. So are resigned to removing her from power one way or the other. We suspect that Sylvanas knows this, partly because my sneaky undead warlock has been telling her exactly what the traitorous scum have been up to every step of the way. We know that the Alliance are some people in the game too. So here's what I've always thought. I think the Rebel Boys and the Horde and the Alliance are going to do some fighting together. Maybe they will repel a Sylvanas-ordered attack on Thunderbluff before gathering their forces and moving on to Orgrimmar to confront Sylvanas. They probably have to fight their way through some outside defenses to get there. Maybe there's a scenario. Maybe it's a super secret Baron's Warfront. Maybe it will involve those data mine Syrah Moonwarden and Delarin Summer Moon models fighting for Sylvanas. Or Moon Priestess Amara. Oh no, sorry, that's her old model. This is Moon Priestess Amara, one of those super cool new Night Elf undead. And yeah, I know some Night Elf players feel personally insulted by Night Elf Forsaken for some reason, but I am not with you on this. Sorry, dudes. These guys rock. Maybe we have to kill Nathanos to get there, although I'd be surprised. But when we get to Orgrimmar, it's not quite the battle we expect. Sylvanas steps down willingly, or laughs and says, "Have your puny horde, I've got bigger tentacly fish to fry," and banshees off. Or maybe she's not there at all, mysteriously missing. And either way, the rebels wrest control of the Horde back in a much less bloody and more popular fashion than anyone was expecting. Which is just as well, because maybe something has already happened that demands our full and immediate attention. N'zoth is here, Ny'alotha or the Shadowlands are open and spewing forth badness. The war campaign is over, Sylvanas is gone, and the Horde and Alliance are working together against this huge patch-sized threat. 8.3 is ready to begin. But don't forget, Sylvanas is still out there. She still has her plan we don't know anything about, and it seems pretty likely that she'll be making a return to the action in the climax of the expansion. But whose side will she be on? And that attack on Stormwind that we were promised in the very first preview of Before the Storm, before BFA was even announced? Could that still be a thing? Who knows? Well, we will. We'll all know very soon, most likely. And maybe there will be official release news before this video even comes out. That has happened before, and it's my fault. I've been on holiday, don't know if I mentioned. And I will know exactly how long I've got to wait to find out, and how long I've got to prepare myself for Sourfang's heroic selfless death, because right now I'm definitely not ready. As always, in the description below, we have included Wowhead links to all of these leaks and models and data mine things. You can go and look at them in your own free time. It's like homework, but it's like fun homework, so you know.
So much mystery about what will be happening very soon, much excite. And just as exciting, I'm sure we'll all agree, is the new Recruit a Friend rewards coming to the game in 8.2.5. Recruit a Friend is an age-old promotion / tradition whereby current World of Warcraft subscribers are encouraged to, well, recruit their loser, nerd, shithead, non-WoW playing friends to join them in the game, resulting in hefty XP bonuses for both of them if they level together, and cool-ass rewards for the recruiter, like spectacular mounts and game time. When I got Taliesin back into the game in Mists of Pandaria, it's how we leveled together, which was totally romantic and sweet and relationship forming, and more importantly, I got Heart of Nightwing, which is baller. It was something people did with friends or by themselves, choosing to take on the cost of an extra couple of months subscription to turbo level an alt and get a cool mount, like Heart of Nightwing, which is objectively baller. And there was some genuine sadness when the traditional Recruit a Friend rewards were removed earlier this year, because how is anyone gonna get Heart of Nightwing now? Well, probably in the store at some point, but you take my point. And soon, in the new patch, there's a brand new revamped scheme with a more linear reward system, giving recruiters increasingly interesting Explorers League themed rewards every month that one of their mission table friends, pays a subscription. Starting with a pet, right up to that cool camel, a title, a tabard, a biplane at 9 months, a rucksack at 10 months, and the frankly awesome Explorer's Transmog at 12 months. And yes, that's a rucksack. That is a backpack cloak transmog, just like everyone has been asking for since forever, finally made a reality. And here, as part of Recruit a Friend. So naturally, everyone is thrilled with this turn of events, especially on the forums, where those players who had made their sadness known when the old rewards were taken away were keen to express their excitement over these new goodies, chatting enthusiastically about how finally something they'd longed for was being made a reality, and planning which of their lucky non-WoW playing loser friends they were about to make winners by recruiting them on the leveling adventure of a— no, it was a shit show. Obviously.
What a slap in the face, #FishBlizz. Disgusting. Underhanded. I feel bad for the artists and designers who poured hours of work into this corporate money grab. $200 for a transmog? Thanks, I hate it. This is one step away from being a complete pyramid scheme. How can anyone possibly support this? Never playing BFA again.
Okay, look, you know how we like to do this segment. You know we like to take the most hyperbolic and over-the-top reactions we can find to read out because that's funny. But that doesn't mean we don't have sympathy with what some of the comments are trying to say. And yeah, at the heart of it all, I've got some sympathy, especially with those saying that at least the transmog may have been a more fitting reward for archaeology in BFA, considering that there are currently no good rewards for BFA archaeology. That would have been cool and in-game, and okay, so people would have still complained because Blizz would have been forcing us to do archaeology, which totally sucks, but at least everyone could have gotten it by playing the game. Not so with Recruit a Friend. And I get that might be annoying if, like Tally, you have been sad about how ignored that profession has been this expansion. That's not to say I'm sympathetic to every criticism though, like the whole $200 for a transmog thing. I mean, Yeah, if you had no intention of recruiting any friends and starting a new account of your own to get the rewards, then it will cost you 12 months worth of extra subscriptions, which is actually $156 if you do 2 6-month subscriptions, but that's still plenty for a few in-game rewards and a leveling boost, which, by the way, has been decreased from 300 to a measly 50%. All of which tells me that this is a concerted effort from Blizzard to make getting the rewards from Recruit a Friend strongly favor those who, well, recruit actual friends rather than create temporary new accounts themselves, which, I don't know, seems fair, I guess. I get the feeling these rewards are supposed to take up to 10 years to collect, just like the last selection, and Blizzard would much rather you personally didn't pay anything. Is it a pyramid scheme? In the last couple of years, I've got free stuff from my bank and electricity provider for referring friends to create accounts, which is the same thing, so no, this is not really comparable to Becky from high school contacting me on Facebook with an exciting new wine selling opportunity. I've heard lots of people argue that literally no one ever recruited actual friends to get the rewards before, but that's not entirely true because, well, I did when I recruited Tally and got Heart of Nightwing, which is, by the way, really baller. Thanks very much. So should these rewards have been in the game as standard? Should the transmog and the mounts and the title and the tabard and the pet and the backpack, dear lord, I almost forgot about the backpack. Should they have been archaeology rewards? I would have liked that. But if you think so too, there's another question we have to ask. Do you think Recruit a Friend should have any unique rewards at all? Because they always have had unique rewards, and I don't remember ever hearing this kind of reaction about them. Not even about Heart of Nightwing, which is objectively baller. So if you do think Recruit a Friend should have rewards, is it just that you think these particular rewards are too good? Is it okay for Recruit a Friend to have rewards as long as they're not rewards you want? Maybe it's just the backpack, and that's fair enough, because that is totally unique and special and will be in much demand in the RP community in particular. And I get that, but I also can't believe, even for a moment, that this is the last backpack we will see in WoW in the near future. Just like those long coats for the cool Tyrans, you would be very surprised if this wasn't something that became a regular look soon. Anyway, I think the main takeaway from all of this is, Blizz, you need to bury some cool shit in the ground for archaeologists to find in the game pronto. Okay? For every minute detail about how the new Recruit a Friend will work, along with lists of all of the rewards, Wowhead has you covered. Check out the links in the description below.
So, 2 new cinematics, encrypted, can't get into them, locked up, one of which is 6 minutes long. Evitel, the $1 million question. $1 million is about 500 million pounds right now with Brexit. So the 500 million pound question, what is that, especially that long cinematic? What is it? What happens? What's going to happen? What have you done?
Ooh, clearly something to do with Sylvanas.
Thanks for all your good work, Holmes. There is, however, classic news, as we promised. I love it. I've got my little crack team that we go around with,
you
the 5 of us.
You've got a crack team.
Yeah.
I don't have a crack team.
And they are kind of guiding me through, so I'm not lost like I often was in like Wrath of the Lich King when I first started playing. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm loving being Horde. I'm loving like all the cool gear and stuff I'm getting. It's not that cool. And yeah, I have also been on holiday for a week, which is why I'm only level 31. And bless my team. Bless them for hanging out and like not leveling much.
Aww.
So they could level with me.
Aww.
Awesome. Thanks, team. So only 9 more levels I can get my mount.
Nice.
I've got gold for it as well.
Do you?
I've got 114 gold.
Okay. Is that because people gave it to you?
It's streamer privilege.
Okay.
Sorry, the news wasn't just what level I am and whether I'm having fun or not. Classic news is there are 2 new servers opening up, PvP, obviously, but these ones are a little bit different because in the North American servers, there is a Latin American server, and in the EU servers, there's going to be a Spanish server. At last. So like still no news on the 6 people that like speak Italian that play World of Warcraft. Still no news on them, but like the 20 people that speak Spanish that play World of Warcraft are now cated for.
I know.
Congratulations.
A bunch of them. And also, I appreciate there's going to be one place where you can say España and another place where you can say España. I learned Mexican Spanish.
Amazing.
And I appreciate that there's going to be one for Latin America and actual Spain.
And I take my hat off to that.
Cool.
You know what? I think I often make fun of the American education system, you know.
You do.
But there's a few things that you guys do better than anyone else. One, learning all the states in the United States of America. I reckon you do that better than any other school system, honestly.
Okay, probably.
2, learning Spanish.
Yep.
And 3, learning how to survive a gun attack on your school. Apart from maybe Spain, they probably learn Spanish maybe a bit better.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
Or Mexico. But, you know, for non-native speakers, I think you guys have got that. Your education system. Top marks.
Thank you.
Top marks. Well
you.
done. It's not really news, but we've had charts come out on Wowhead, link below, so you can check that out yourself, of very roughly estimated classic realm populations and how those populations are split by Horde and Alliance.
Okay.
No less than Caden House's Sithrams,
Yes.
yeah, exactly, formerly of Blizzard, has himself tweeted out that you can't really take these very seriously. It's kind of impossible to know, and he's a man that should know. But having said that, it's quite fun to look at. So we're on Zandalar Tribe, and there's a pretty even 50-50 split there.
Okay.
52% Alliance and 48%. Oh, that's how it works.
That is math.
52 Alliance, 48 Horde, which means my Horde guild are in the minority, and we are the underdogs, which means we're allowed to kill any Alliance we see. That's how it works. No questions asked. And because I'm undead, we get to kill them, and then I get to et them.
Eat them.
I
Yeah.
get to et them.
Yeah.
You gon' get et. Because that's what we do. We see some little dwarf running along, and we kill that dwarf, and you're like, unlucky son, you gon' get et. And then I eat them.
Nice.
Because I got cannibalism. It's not really cannibalism because they're a dwarf, but you know what I mean. Badge news. Many of you bought and will remember these beautiful official T&E pin badges. I'm going to put a picture on the screen because you won't see that very well. Thank you so much for buying those and helping out Special Effects, the charity, because our share of the profits goes directly to them. We don't make any money on them at all. Someone who does, though, is my cousin who runs the Etsy store. She makes money on them. Her cut. It's fair enough, really.
Yeah.
And she's designed a whole new badge, the Knowledge is Power badge.
Ooh, yes.
Which is on the store for pre-orders now. Mine is in the post, apparently.
Oh.
It'll be with me shortly, so we can have it for the next episode.
What about
we can show
mine?
it off there.
Do I have to buy one?
I've not really got anywhere to put it.
Oh my god.
We could get 2.
Okay.
With tassels on? I don't know.
That's the next level of merchandise.
Yeah, that's when we're really desperate.
Yeah.
And exactly like our T&E pins, our share of the profits will all be going to Special Effect as well. So if
Yay.
pin badges are your thing, and I know that for some of you they are, then these are really, really cool. And you can pre-order them now. There's a link to that down in the description as well. So many links in the description.
Oh my goodness.
It's too much. I can't cope.
What am I going to click on?
All of the links. I literally just told you what to click on.
I know, but
I told you about all the like Wowhead links.
there's so
and
many of
badge
them.
links
How am I
and-
going to find all the time to click on all of them?
You'll have to stop playing Classic.
Oh.
No more Classic, not till you've clicked on all those links.
Yes.
Thank you for waiting for this episode, because we didn't make it last week, because we were on Guild Holiday, which we mentioned earlier. We were in Spain on Guild Holiday. We were getting some sun and some sangria and having the good times with our guildies. So thank you, guildies, for making it a good time. But thank you as well for joining us today. If you like this episode, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real-life money to make any of our videos happen. Guys, without you, there'd be a whole lot less Taliesin and Evitel.
It'd be like this much.
So thank you.
Less.
If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Fresh Dead Mobster. What did you think it was?
Mad Dead Gangster.
No, my name is Taliesin from me.
And me, Evitel.
Until next time, cheerio.